Hey everybody, welcome in. So don't mind all of this extra stuff. I don't know what I was thinking when I bought a very wide-angled webcam to do this. I was like, it's inexpensive. I can introduce a different angle. Also, I can increase the quality because my webcam only does 720. This does 1080 if I don't use my phone or my iPad. And anyway, that's why y'all get all this extra. So today I'm going to be running through the Zodiac. I love this deck. So again, shout out to Eve. Thank you so much. Um, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get one of these. I'm going to not. I'll use the book. I'll use the book. But I'm going to clarify it with the Wild Unknown Tarot first. And I'm just going to run through, take it as it resonates, as always. Timestamps will be in the description. If you click the video, the timeline thing should pop up for you. And yeah, I'm going to be using my favorite virtual assistant today. And he will be giving me randomly generating a number between 1 and 12. And that'll be the order that I go in. So, first, hey Siri, choose a number between 1 and 12.
A random number between 1 and 12 is 6.
Oh, so we're going with Virgo. We're going with Virgo first. Virgo first, all right. So I'm going to be pausing between each to get the timestamps and stuff, right? So enjoy. All right, Virgo, welcome in. So you're first today. Virgo is first today. So my plan is to get one of these. We'll see if I read it. I might. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. I'll give it a few shuffles. Two more. There we go. Oh my gosh. I had a feeling that I would be seeing this card again. Oh, okay. So Virgo's coming out with the Lord of Pentacles. And let's see if I can't reduce. I'm going to have to adjust the light so you can see this. One moment. And the Moon Chariot is at the bottom of the deck, which is very interesting, Virgo. Because I was literally just thinking about, it was a while ago. Let's see. What can I see now? And I gotta be able to see too. There we go. Let's just move it. There we go. So you got the the Lord of Pentacles with the Moon Chariot at the bottom of the deck. This is reminding me of a while ago. It might have been somewhere in Pisces season 2020 when I did some zodiacs, and Pisces was coming out as this super fluid energy that was gaining momentum and that was going to be able to sort of make leaps and bounds. And Virgo was coming in under a very, very similar energy, but it was like Virgo can get in Virgo's own head and can in some way sabotage themselves. And then it came out that it seemed like Virgo was learning to release all of that which would sort of keep it from fulfilling what it is that it has to fulfill. Now, the Lord of Pentacles, I guess I'll go ahead and read this. I'll read the main card. So, the Lord of Pentacles wears the turban of the blue flame of truth. He no longer focuses solely on his earthly kingdom, but now seeks connection to the inner realms and rules with spirituality. While he does not dismiss tradition and its gifts, honoring the old ways indicated by the Order of Nuns, he moves beyond them, as indicated by the white veils that open to the heat of his blue flame. He shares his knowledge and thus leads others to truth. He is a master of numbers and can work magic and manifesting plenty from making good investments. He keeps sharp focus upon all his learning and sees wisdom in old connections, holding doors open for conversation and advancement. The flames upon the conventional religious nuns represent the fires of new understanding from ancestral teaching. The Lord reveres all traditions as containing the possibility of enlightenment. Cherishing what is left behind enhances his achievements of the present and views of the future. Gratitude for the foundation and support makes strong his position. He sees and learns from each part of life, absorbing what is necessary for achievement. He humbly acknowledges his faults, continually seeking to learn more and more. Harmony of mind and body is his goal, the marriage of conscious and unconscious to reach perfection. And with the moon chariot, there is this solar eclipse energy here again. And there's also with the moon chariot, it feels more like internal movement. It feels more like internal resolution. Maybe there is some internal conflict that Virgo's been having. You can see my shadow all over these cards. Here we go. Maybe there's some internal conflict that Virgo's been having. And it's that internal conflict. It's that back and forth. It's something that Virgo maybe has struggled or used to struggle to reconcile with himself that would really prevent Virgo from making all of the necessary moves that it could make. Again, there was something a little overthinky about, oh goodness, there's the Nine of Swords. Bottom of the deck, though, is the Ace of Wands. So maybe this is a space that you're still sort of coming out of. Or you're in a position of, let me move these back a little. Get these positioned quite nicely. And put these up. There we go. What is this? The Hanged Man. The Hanged Man, the Mother of Wands, and the Nine of Swords with the Ace of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So maybe, Virgo, you're still in this space. So this is internal movement again. The Moon Chariot. There are things that are sort of being unblocked, unlocked, realized within yourself that impacted how you navigate the world around you. And because you navigated the world in a certain way, it's almost like it made it more difficult to reach or attain certain things. And so with this feels more like an internal truth. This is a putting of the context. It's putting context to your lot in life. It's a lot of healing. It's a lot of readjusting of perspective, readjustment within like your own body, bodies, physical, mental, and emotional, and spiritual. And while you're doing that, like as you're healing, it's like you're simultaneously taking things that you had before and stretching them even further, or carrying them into the beyond. And as you do that, it's going to prime you to take even more action, because you're going to be healing through and releasing a lot of these anxieties and dark thoughts. Dark visions is this card. I remember dark visions, it says in the book. And that could be the space of like overthinking. It's like whenever you try to project forward into the future, things would never work out well. Like you could always find a reason or excuse that things wouldn't work out. And so it would keep you in this hangman state instead of fully pursuing what it was that was before you. And with this Mother of Wands, it's like there's something about a potential that wasn't quite released because of all of the, it's reminding me, it's like if you're pregnant and your baby, like you're ready to give birth, but like you're physiologically and anatomically ready to give birth, but mentally and physically you're not ready, or financially you feel like you're not ready, whatever, for whatever reason you're not ready to actually bring the baby into the world. You're not ready. Oh gosh. And so it's this energy of like you forcing the baby to basically stay inside. Now, while it's inside you, it doesn't grow, it doesn't mature, it's nothing like that. So like you're not going to be carrying around a fully grown whatever inside of you. But with this Mother of Wands energy, it's almost like helicopter parent energy, where you don't allow it to fully grow into what it could be, again because of these dark visions. It's like before you fully invest in it, you already sort of go for the worst. But again, with this Moon Chariot and with the Lord of Pentacles coming out, it feels like you are maybe beginning to interject spirituality into more that you do. And in that, you're able to heal more, take those higher perspectives, be a little bolder, see outcomes outside of what your earthly mind would project. And again, because of that, it's like things are going to get brighter and brighter and brighter. And so, honestly, I feel like if you're not in a position of making a lot of external moves right now, that's fine. Between this Hanged Man and this Moon Chariot and this Lord of Pentacles, because with the Lord of Pentacles, it speaks of an internal state that then affects everything you do. And there's also an energy of investment here. And between the Mother of Wands and this Nine of Swords, that's where sort of this investment energy plays out. Where like there are these things that you hold precious that you protect, and depending on how, it's almost like how you're neurologically wired almost. But you know, with the Virgo energy, I'm not too like, it's not too out there to be like, depending on how you're neurologically wired, right? Virgo and Gemini, both Mercury ruled, both. I mean, anybody can be sort of. I mean, yeah, it's not specific, but Virgo, you kind of sort of get the anal retentive ness in the zodiac with the neatness and the organization and the purity and things like that, right? It kind of sort of falls on you, even though we all have it. But it's like because of whatever you believed, there would be things that you would invest in that didn't really serve you, which would continue to give you more of this Nine of Swords energy, and things that you could have invested in, but it feels like there was some mental, emotional, or even spiritual blockage that would prevent you again from giving to it fully. And then it wouldn't work out. And depending on how you handle or respond to certain experiences, you could take the perspective of like, see, like I knew it wouldn't work out, it never works out. And so then that reinforces its own cycle, while the things that it's like deep down you know that they won't work, but you invest in anyway and then they don't work. It's like, see, it's always going to be like that. It reinforces that cycle. Something internally is changing where that's no longer going to be the case. You're seeing things from a greater truth now, or you will be soon. That's what I got for you, Virgo. It's not necessarily, it's up to you to interpret. It's the Mystical Dreams Tarot, so it's not going to necessarily give you everything. And it's not to. Because we're really coming into a space, it's like if we're resetting the board in some ways where we get to choose. And sometimes we just need a little bit of reassurance that what we think is a non-option is actually an option or is actually feasible. So, with that, I hope you have a good whatever whenever you see this, and that you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. And we're going to see who Siri chooses next. Hey Siri, choose a number between 1 and 12.
A random number between 1 and 12 is 12.
So we're going for Pisces. See, if you're a Virgo and you're still watching, I told y'all, Virgo and Pisces had that thing last year. And I was thinking about it earlier today for some reason. And now first was Virgo, now comes Pisces. So, hey, I'm all right. I'm cool. I love Virgos. I have a lot of like Virgo best friends, or like really good Virgo friends. So, I'll catch y'all when I catch y'all, Virgo. Bye. Pisces. This is interesting. I just watched earlier today. I just watched Cindy from Awakening to Spirits Pisces video. And the Five of Cups came out. I think the Five of Cups was the card that was like at the top of the tarot pyramid. And she told the story about the horse who thought it was their turn, and for some reason it's like the horse keeper was coming to let the horse out, but for some reason at the last minute, Temperance, at the last minute, it turns away and the horse is disappointed. There's something about it's like, oh, it's reminding me of Craigslist back in the day, like missed connections. It's reminding me of missed connections. Speaking of missed connections, there was somebody on the bus, in the bus station. He was trying to go to Chicago, and he had ended up on the wrong bus. And one of the workers there was like, well, like if you have a smartphone, you can Google it and see how to get to Chicago. But, you know, we don't have a public phone and we can't help you here. And I was like, he was on my mind, like, because usually I offer, I'm like, oh, you can use my phone. But I had to board my own bus and leave. And he's been on my mind. I care about people, okay? Gosh. And I was like, I hope he got where he was going. And I'm like, well, maybe he just talked to the wrong employee. Instead of talking to the one in the front who has his own area of knowledge and expertise, maybe he should have waited and talked to the one behind the desk who was sitting in front of the computer. But again, Pisces, we have the sun and the moon here in this temperance card. So there is something about an internal and external sort of, there's some internal external goings on. And so whatever you are missing or lacking externally, sometimes you have to find out a way to give it to yourself. It reminds me of a few years ago, there was a friend who really like was my fire, like could motivate me to do stuff. And I was like, I'm gonna have to learn to motivate myself. I can't rely on somebody else to motivate me in that way. And it's not fair to someone else for me to rely on them in that way. Now, if there was a certain set of circumstances where it's like there was a certain like business partnership or creative partnership, or if we fed off of each other in some way, then yeah. But when it comes to me doing the things that I need to do for me, I need to be able to motivate myself to do that. And then externally, things will begin to move. There's some, and I guess that's the Five of Cups here. Whatever is lacking in your life, be it internal or external, try to find a way forward in the other realm. So if it's an external blockage, look inside. If it's an internal blockage, look outside. And you're not looking outside necessarily for a solution, but maybe for like a clue on what you need to do within self, how you need to balance self out to find whatever it is that you need. So let's see. Pisces, you are coming out with the 10 of Swords. Goodness. Pisces. Pisces, what is happening? What is happening, Pisces? Bottom of the deck is the Six of Pentacles. There's a frog here, there's a black cat here, there's a woman sitting on a log by the water, and like her little dress thing is slipping, so it may be some nippage. Might see a little nipple, no, a little nipplage. There's a stillness here that I'm not quite a fan of, because frogs, for me, I think, or at least it's coming through today, they symbolize a sort of innocence and a sort of play, but the frog is just on her lap. Cats can symbolize companionship, not necessarily in the way that dogs do, but they also symbolize companionship. Black cats reminds me of the Queen of Wands. It's us owning and integrating our own internal shadow, but there's this sort of stalemate here between them. She's sitting on the log, not doing anything. Her shadow isn't really bothering her, but her sense of playfulness isn't really alive either. It feels very, oh, what's that word? It's like tranquilized or like drugged. Feels very numb. And with the Ten of Swords here, maybe this is how we numbed ourselves. Maybe Pisces numbed ourselves to something so that we wouldn't feel the pain of it. But in not feeling that, it's like it caused everything to stop. The Ten of Swords in this card also features a bull. It's the year of the ox right now. This is reminding me of the Texas Longhorns. There is some like windmill energy here. Oh, it's a Triskelion. Almost. And the windmill but it's like the wind is blowing, but the turbine, the windmill isn't moving. These remind me of ghosts up here. There's 7 ghosts. 13 Ghosts is a movie I've never seen. 6 of Cups, 7 ghosts. In the Halloween tarot, ghosts are cups. So like there's this 6 and 7 of Cups energy with this 10 of Swords. This is the Minotaur. I think it was 6 boys and 6 girls that were sacrificed to the Minotaur every year. This is so this I guess would be Ariadne. Ariadne fell for Theseus. And because she cared about Theseus, she's the one that gave Theseus the sword and the ball of thread to navigate the labyrinth. The sword to slay the Minotaur, the ball of thread so he could find his way out of the labyrinth after the deed was done. But they didn't end up together. So there is a little bit of a disappointment here because something in the past didn't work out like we thought it would. And it's like her story continues. Like that's not where her story ends, and maybe she really thought that Theseus would be it. But she ends up, in some telling, she ends up with Dionysus, and I think after she dies, he basically makes her a goddess, or he takes her to Olympus or something like that. It feels like this is someone who's like being comforted by their shadow, but in that it keeps like their light, their playfulness from being seen, from shining. 7 of Wands. I'm going to read that 10 of Swords, by the way. The Hermit. Oh, look at that. That light in the dark. This is that isolation. And the Father of Pentacles, looking at the Hermit. Bottom of the deck is the Sun. Now, this could be everything that's held up in this space. This isn't going to necessarily be like a full, like, let's see everything that's going on, right? So, complete the story within self. But this 10 of Swords. So, the horned beast forms a bridge between dream and waking reality. Communication with a beloved ancestor opens through the bridge to the within. The horned beast represents the power to transcend waking reality. The horns of the moon sit prominently upon his head, generating inner energies which connect the waking mind with the dream mind. The triskel acts like a windmill, fostering the powerful shift from one phase to another. Through upheaval and struggle, triskel or triskele is threefold, past, present, and future, thus pointing to the need to seek answers from each in working through problems. What did not or did serve certain issues in the past? What best serves the present? How does a decision potentially influence the future? What needs to be preserved from this view? What needs to be let go? In the end, what needs to be added? The horned beast and his gift to the triskel help the seeker move beyond crushing defeat, sorrowful loss, and tragic collapse. The sorrows plunge the seeker into the depths in order to consider what is necessary to move beyond misfortune. Decisions and situations must be observed from the threefold view for the best resolution. From a position of ruin, loss, and death, new energies are available, beings rising upon the mound of wonders to guide the seeker beyond loss. So this is like there's this So these 7 ghosts, it could be 7 ghosts. Maybe there are 6 ghosts, and the last one is more of a spiritual presence. Because there's 6 cups here, 6 ghosts, and then the ghost of spirit. And it's like it's trying to get you through this. It's trying to move you forward. But with this 6 of cups, it's like someone can't get beyond the past enough to see that the sun is right here. It's like with the 5 of cups, with the horse whose head was facing down, it's like, well, if you look up, you would notice the sun. If she would look up, she would notice everything that, oh my gosh, the dream protector and the moon. See, look at that. It's like she doesn't even have to look up that far. Here's the sun and the moon. So there's some more eclipse energy. But it feels like for Pisces, the eclipse works different. Because for a lot of signs, it's more like solar focus. And I'd say for the water signs, in general, it's more internal focused. It's more moon based instead of it being sun based. And so when you're primarily focused on the other thing, when there's a collision or when there's an alignment, it shifts your focus in the other direction. The 7 of Wands and the Hermit both have that energy of like the light and the dark. Both of them carry a sort of isolation. See, this is like it's a victory at what cost type of energy, right? We all rationalize and work through our pasts in a way to help us move forward. But at what cost? Because here it feels like Pisces is rejecting the sun, the stability offered in this Father of Pentacles, a chance to integrate with the world around them because of something that happened in the past. And it's something that, regardless of how much these winds are blowing and how much there's like an internal impetus to move, it's like the windmill isn't moving. It feels like Pisces went into the labyrinth to slay the Minotaur, but ended up befriending it, or they weren't able to do what they needed to do. And you don't have to slay the Minotaur. You can free the Minotaur from its prison. But you can't stay there. And Pisces is staying there. Maybe that like there's an energy here of like there has to be another way to go about this. Like there has to be something I missed. Like this can't be it. There has to be more than just this. And maybe there is. Maybe you don't have to slay the Minotaur. But you can't stay in the labyrinth. And Pisces, that was way long. I'm wishing y'all all the best, Pisces. As a fellow Pisces girl, I mean, I had my cycles of holding on to the negative parts of the past and wanting to prevent future pain by causing present pain. And I've been in a space where it's like there was no dark, but there also was no light. And I couldn't be fully, authentically, like my more happy, engaged, and enjoying and appreciating life self. I'm wishing you all the best. So what's next? Hey Siri, choose a number between 1 and 12.
A random number between 1 and 12 is 10.
So Capricorns are next. Capricorns, what's up? I was just in the store, Capricorn, and I was looking at some Capri Suns like, oh, I haven't had Capri Sun in a long time. My Capricorns. Is it Capricorn? Capri, right? Like Capri's. Capricorn, Capricorn. Let's see what's up. Let's see what's up with the Cappies. Oh, the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles. I just read this for Pisces as the Six of Cups. Girl. Alright, Capricorns. What's up? Bottom of the deck is the Dream Protector. Y'all saw me shuffle this. I randomly cut. So this is coming right after Pisces. Almost. Like, this was the bottom of the deck for Pisces. This was the bottom of the bottom for Pisces. So if you're connected to a Pisces, or if you have Pisces in your chart, maybe there's some bleed through. Six of Pentacles and the Dream Protector. Well, the Six of Pentacles is you give what you get energy. So if you're not giving anything, you're not going to get anything. And if you're giving something, you're going to get something. With the Emperor being the space of the Dream Protector in this deck, it has an energy of patience. So if you've been giving and giving and giving in proper measure, you will see a return. 1 second. Sorry, y'all. You will see a return. There's something about holding the line here. It feels like for Capricorn, if you tap into the energy of Saturn, it feels like it'll help protect or keep something established. It'll help establish something or protect something. Or it's like it'll show you how to do it. Or something. It will... I feel like Saturn will tell you the bounds on something, right? So in general, if you give something, you're going to get something. But that's not always the case. It's not the case when if there is like an unrequited or unreciprocated energy. Because then no matter how much you give, you'll never get anything. And that's the thing about the Six of Pentacles. It's like openly, freely giving and receiving. If you can't give freely or receive freely, then it changes that dynamic. And if whatever you're giving to isn't receiving it, again, it's a changed dynamic. So I'm going to actually read the Six of Pentacles first. Opened up to the 3. So, the tadpole is birthed in the waters, transforming and growing into the young frog, who leaps into the air, crossing the boundaries between water and land. Within the ancient Egyptian mythology, the Ogdode was 8 primordial deities, 4 frog-headed and 4 snake-headed gods and goddesses. The ancients recognized the ability of the frog to leap from the watery depths of the cosmic waters of origin to the earthly sands of time and space. Here, Cat playfully joins Frog, as she too can leap with great facility, accomplishing movement from one place to another. The girl holds the two close to her chest, embracing and cherishing both. She also knows how to leap, with the imagination. The seeker is encouraged to see imagination as a helpful faculty, capable of taking the leaps necessary for movement beyond present positions. Each is urged to see with the faculty of imagination, allowing the mind to take the leap from the inertia of stuck thoughts to the movement accessed within new views of endeavors. Together with the faculty of reason, decisions may be reached, promotions attained, vacations made, and new contracts, leases, and relationships successfully entertained and made manifest. It is a time to move from the inactivity of dormancy to the satisfaction of triumphal movement towards achievement. Girl, frog, and cat all point to the value of taking the leap. So, heavy full energy. Heavy full energy here, Capricorn. What I also love about this is the proximity to the water. I remember reading Capricorn a while ago, and it was like, we know the goat, but now it's time to see the sea, right? The sea goat part of the Capricorn, and not just climb the mountains, the goat. Capricorn is a very, what's it? It's not entrepreneurial, resourceful, very resourceful energy. I mean, it has to be. It's responsible for building the foundations. And so it's like Capricorn is the whole company. It's the acquisition, it's the bidding, it's the blueprints, it's everything except the actual building. It can be the structure, it can be the foundation, it can be the framework. What do you call them? The structural support. But it's not necessarily the vibe, it's not the warmth, it's not the interior decorating. It's not the things that make that building feel however it feels. Typically. It said something in here that I really liked. The imagination. It said that the girl can leap with her imagination, and Capricorn can be a very practical energy. But that's why the dream protector is here. Maybe there's a vision that you've had, Capricorn, that's been difficult to hold on to. Death, the Father of Pentacles, and the High Priestess. The Father of Pentacles also came out for Pisces. Bottom of the deck is the Son of Swords. The Son of Swords is the one who will do something in a new way. He is partially conditioned to the old, but can also sort of get swept up in an energy of like a novelty. It's an excitement that the king and the queen don't necessarily feel not traditionally, in their more sort of conservative energy, because they're already convinced that they know everything. There is a little bit of an energy of redirection here. Everyone is looking in the same direction except for this Father of Pentacles. The Father of Pentacles is the most established. Capricorn, that may be your biggest challenge. A lot of things are changing right now. And so a lot of ways that used to be won't necessarily be anymore. But it feels like intuitively, maybe there were some things that it's like there were things that logically made sense that for whatever reason we just weren't doing it that way. But now in the space of almost this reset, now in the space of moving forward, now that we're going to have to be creative and have that ingenuity and do things in a little bit of a different way, maybe that's also why the Son of Swords is here. Maybe there's something that you've been seeing, but it was never the right time, it was never the right moment to bring that information to the forefront because we were so attached to the way that we did things. But within this space of change and transformation, now the time is right for this thing. Maybe you've been holding a dream for a certain amount of time. Maybe there's something that you've been holding on to. Maybe spirit dropped something within you, maybe a while ago. And until the time had come, you were getting ready and getting prepared and expanding your knowledge and awareness in different ways. There's an energy here of renovating, updating, modernizing, but it's the way you think. And it's making room for the imagination. It's making room for things that didn't necessarily have a place in the past because the structures were too rigid. Again, it's like it was all about the foundation, and it was all about the structural integrity and things of that nature. But to truly make the building, it is also the interior. It's like you can have the best facilities, but if it's not a work environment, or if it's not an environment that people want to be in, then they're not going to want to work there. Or if it's like, if it's priced ridiculously high, it's like, oh, well, we have the latest facilities. It talked about faculties and facilities, right? We have the latest and greatest. And it's like, yeah, you do. But for that price point, like, I can go somewhere else. And you're like, what? But like, we have the best. There's a sort of value assessment that needs to take place. Because even though you have the best, it's like, is the difference in quality, is the difference in experience worth it to the people who would interact and engage in that space? Do people need that? And it's like sometimes we get so wrapped up in our own vision that, especially if it's one that incorporates other people in some way, we get so wrapped up in our own vision that we don't stop to think if like it's something that other people actually want, or if it's something that other people will actually invest in. Like, if you're an entrepreneur and if it's your product, then of course you think it's the greatest thing ever. If you didn't, you probably wouldn't invest so much or come up with it, right? You perceive a need and you seek to fill it. But if other people can get by doing other things, or if other people don't perceive it as a need, or if it's not that important to other people, then it's not going to go anywhere. And again, it goes back to that idea of like the situation, the time isn't necessarily right for that. Right? It's like if you're selling DVD players when everyone's walking around with VHS tapes, who's going to buy it? There's no, like, we're not even producing DVDs yet, let alone like the whole Betamax thing, right? What was that about? I don't know. So there can be something a little stagnant with this Capricorn if you don't handle it right. And it does feel like there's a little bit of defiance here between uh, past establishment, or the way you used to do things, and the ways in which we need to move forward. Time is moving on. The world is continuously turning and evolving and changing. Some things are going to be left to yesterday so we can have a better tomorrow. I don't know why this is looking like Chino to me. When he just like look at me with that side eye. But Chino is interesting because he's not like a lot of other dogs. Like, a lot of dogs love to be pet. They love attention and they'll wag their tails and everything. Chino, not so much. He's like, why are you touching me? Like, what is this? Hello? And then when I try to touch you, like, y'all got a problem. I don't know. Something about that Father of Pentacles. And the Father of Pentacles, it's a Taurian energy. It's fixed earth. It's like doubly fixed energy. Don't let an iron tight grip on something prevent you from moving forward in a way that really speaks to your abilities and capabilities. That's what I got, Capricorn. I hope you have a good whatever whenever you see this, and I hope you're acting in alignment to make it all better. And let's see who's next. Hey Siri, pick a number between 1 and 12, please.
A random number between 1 and 12 is 11.
So next we're going to Aquarius, the other Saturnian sign. I love that I haven't gotten a repeat yet. Aquarius! How y'all doing, Aquarius? Aquarii. I don't know why I feel like just like shuffling and not talking. Just like silence. Oh, the Ace of Wands. With the Wisdom Teacher at the bottom of the deck. Hermit energy. Mm, this is interesting. This is a very watery looking Ace of Wands. It reminds me of no mud, no lotus, and the jewel is in the lotus. So to find the jewel, first you got to have mud to get the lotus, and then from the lotus, that's where you find the jewel. There's something very, and like going back to that silence, and with this wisdom teacher, there's something very like thought provoking, like really dedicating a lot of thought and time and energy to trying to figure something out or piece something together. Also in the wisdom teacher, who is that? The Dreamer of Pentacles. Ooh, Cancerian energy with the moon again. And the rooster. I'm a rooster. There's a reflection in the moon of this dude or lady. It's a person of this person. And like there's a little keyhole energy in this. Dreamer of Pentacles. This is feeling Virgonian. And the Ace of Wands, it's the birth of Venus. It's the birth of Venus. I don't know if you're about to experience love in a way that you've never experienced it, or beauty in a way that you've never experienced it, or an appreciation for, like, maybe something's gonna happen. Maybe you had there's some significant occurrence and moment that's happened in your life recently. Oh, Temperance, the Lovers, and the Mother of Swords with the Father of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Look at the birds. The birds are out. I know there's an Aquarian who birds are like one of her um, spirit animals. Everything is facing the same direction, but the Mother of Swords is looking at you. Now, the Mother of Swords traditionally for me is more Libran than Aquarian. But that more Libran energy makes sense for this Hermit energy. Because Libra is like, well, how do we bring something into balance? Have you ever had like so many thoughts that like it's like your mind is blank, like your brain doesn't even know where to begin? Like that's the feeling that I have right now. Let's read the Ace of Wands. Something smelling good, good. Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands. From the lotus of creation rises the anima, the goddess of creativity, the spirit that infuses all being and gives rise to the passions that fuel love, sexuality, and all procreative talents. The lotus takes its origin in the depths of the landscape of dream and vision, soaring into consciousness along with its beauty of thought and fragrance of the imaginal garden beneath the scene. Sorry. Through the gift of imagination, the idea flows into form. Here is the moment of inspiration. The goddess prepares to release her soul bird, muse and inspirer of all visions. She clasps the golden fish, swimmer of the depths, and communicator with the unconscious. The golden fish is the teller of tales, the ideas born in vision and in dream. It is the golden fish whose words give flight to the soul bird, and it is the song of the soul bird that communicates with waking consciousness and drives the passions to create and manifest the gifts of the goddess. Here is the potential of energy to move past blocks and past difficulties as one opens to positive pathways. The spirit rises to bring news of a new period. The bird of discovery is about to take flight to proclaim the event. So both Capricorn and Aquarius get these messages that involve the imagination. Now I can see Aquarius as being more imaginative than Capricorn, but I also see Capricorn being a little bit more focused in the present and Aquarius almost being like the same energy but focused towards the future. Or where Capricorn will have that sort of focus towards like one's own career or a foundation or an organization or building something long term. Aquarius is more like, collective, and it's more communal and things of that nature. Very similar energies, just operating in different arenas. And when I was doing Capricorn, I don't think I said it, but I was feeling like a little nudge towards Aquarius. Maybe I did. I don't remember. Oh, there's my little brother. There's three majors here. And we see the Ace of Wands basically twice. This is tricky, Aquarius. All I'm getting is silence. But it's not like a quiet silence, it's a very loud silence. It's a silence that like drowns out thought. Jupiter is about to leave Aquarius. Saturn is still in Aquarius. Maybe it's like Jupiter through Temperance. So let's go back to Sagittarius. Did I say Sagittarius? Capricorn and Aquarius? No, I said Aquarius. Jupiter is represented through rulership of Sagittarius and Temperance. Mercury is here. Gemini and Sagittarius. This is the nodal axis right now. North node Sagittarius, or North node Gemini, South node Sagittarius. Coming into a time where Aquarius is getting a lot of heat, or it's getting a lot of pressure. It's holding a lot of hope for a lot of people. Maybe this appreciation is going to be of self. This Father of Wands, both of these cards are giving me an energy of transformation. From the mud to the lotus, from the lotus to the jewel. Snakes shed their skin. They hatch out of eggs. They have like a lot of bones, even though you wouldn't think it because they just slither on the ground. There's also something vestigial about snakes. Snakes have pelvic bones, even though they don't have legs. It's a vestigial structure. It's one from a time where, like, physiologically we needed something, but because of current conditions, we don't really need it anymore. Like the appendix or the gallbladder or something like that. It's like you can survive without it. And we can sort of guess what it used to be for. But maybe you're about to find out. Maybe there was something almost like long forgotten. And the wisdom teacher is about to show you something within you. And it's like you're going to know what it's for now. That's this like birth of Venus energy. It's the conception of Venusian energy to like a higher degree. It's like imagine the world before Venus was here. And then imagine the world without it. It's like seeing color for the first time. It's a sensory explosion. And there may be a tendency here with the Mother of Swords to try to, it's like delineate everything, or to try to make it black and white, to try to make it easier to understand. But the wisdom teacher is here to teach you to accept this in all of its complexity and in all of its wonder without needing to strip it down. And maybe that's why the more you think about something, it's like the more lost you get. It's not really an analytical or logical solution. I mean, you can theorize and hypothesize why these things might be within you. Or maybe there was a time where, snakes had legs and that's why they have pelvic bones. But after the Garden of Eden, God took them legs away. But the pelvic bones stayed. As a reminder to us that, like it actually happened. But then the snake in the Quetzalcoatl, or the Quetzalcoatl, it gains wings, so it doesn't need the legs anyway. And it's like the whole journey is seen. The whole journey was known. So maybe there are things coming in. There will be things that you'll experience, or things that you are experiencing, that's coloring your world in a completely different way. And it's like you would have never known. There was no way for you to know how these things are going to play out or what they're going to reveal to you. It wasn't the time. But the whole thing was seen. The whole journey was known. There's this energy of like, let me show you who you really are. Would you allow yourself to see it? Or is your sense of identity so strong that you couldn't be anybody who you're not or that you haven't been? I don't know, Aquarius. But I hope you'll have a good whatever. I don't like how some of these I'm like, but I hope you have a good whatever whenever you see this. Bye. But yeah, I really don't. Sometimes you just gotta live life and see. What is it? Life is the best teacher? Who's the best teacher? Let me try to look it up. Experience. Experience is the best teacher. And with this Ace of Wands, it's time for a slew of whole new experiences. Also, it's like, don't be afraid to be radically. Oh, what's the word? I don't know what the word is. Is that a word for that? Is there a word for this? It's like, because South Node Sagittarius is about following previous lines of thinking, what's already established. In higher education, a lot of times they just teach you what other people thought. You don't, like, the point really isn't for you to think critically, it's for you to adopt someone else's line of thinking. But with the Lovers, it's like, don't be afraid to sort of like strike out on your own, like to follow your heart instead of following the precedent. Because in that, it's like nothing about Aquarius is necessarily conventional, right? And so don't force yourself to be. And this, it feels more like Aquarius in a position that's like not the sun, almost. Because it feels like for a Sun Aquarius, like it would be more of your default to be unconventional, or it's like you wouldn't have as much of a hang up. Maybe. I mean, Aquarius is also fixed air, so depending on where you fix yourself, there could be ways in which you can be extremely radical, right? Like my dad is an Aquarius. He's very out of the box thinker, very like innovative and inventive in the things he comes up with. But in some ways, he's also very fixed mentally in like the environment that he grew up in some ways. And it's almost about realizing that there's more to life. This snake is reminding me of the cobra and the wild, unknown animal spirits. And the cobra is a teacher, is a wise mentor who's there to oversee something. It's reminding me of this, the wisdom teacher. And the arena that he's doing that in is the arena of wands. It's the arena, it's a very Martian. It's Aquarius going about Mars in a new way, in a different way. It's drive, it's passion, it's action, creativity. Maybe it's time for Aquarius to, again, it's that energy. It's like, let me show you who you are. It's time for Aquarius to experience things in a new way to help Aquarius be less fixed in certain ways. But that's what I got. I hope you'll have a good whatever whenever you see this, and I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. And for the things that you don't know, experience can be one of the best teachers. Just allow things to be and find out.